of the Consumer Affairs and Consumer Protection Commission building mark the beginning of greater rights for customers.
As we inaugurate the Consumer Affairs building today, we are making a clear statement. We stand for consumer rights. We envision this building as a pillar, our cherished Family Islands.
A new customer app, digitizing the department, and community awareness programs are all ways the Consumer Protection Commission is being built to ensure customers get more value for money.
Application Consumer Affairs Inspectorate and the Department of Digitization. These advancements will allow inspectors to
receive the best possible service. It also strives to strike a balance between consumer rights and the rights of business owners.
It is critical that the ecosystem of supply, demand, price, and profitability work.
Modernize the unit will continue on the policy level, as the Prime Minister says amendments to the Consumer Protection Act are coming.
For example, Bahamians living abroad can now lodge a complaint, and deceptive conduct, harassment, and coercive selling practices will be addressed more comprehensively. These and further steps will be taken to ensure a more organized framework to bring immediate relief and stability. But our vision goes beyond economic recovery. It extends to compassionate social relief, enhanced security, and safeguarding your rights as consumers.
Keeping you in the know, this is OPM Press Now.
Every day, we are working to build a more inclusive economy and a stronger, safer country.
Hear all of the latest developments as the Davis administration carries out the broad mandate of progress and change. Our live unit ministers on the latest reports and get answers on the issues that matter to you.
Will any penalties be levied?
This conference keeps Bahamians in the know. Each week, we also feature a new Bahamian food business.
Many of these businesses were started during the pandemic, and they really highlight Bahamian
pastries.
Get your small business featured in the weekly OPM press conference and share your dream with the country.
Good morning and welcome to the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're joining us. Exciting. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Press Secretary Clint Watson, who's going to introduce our...
Thanks, everybody. Oh, wow, thank you. All too kind. And welcome to our press briefing, weekly press briefing. And as you already know, my final press briefing as press secretary. And so we have an exciting day planned, I guess so. We're going to talk a bit about a couple of things. We want to talk about the environment. There's some cleanup going around in the country, you've seen particularly in the capital. And so the minister is finding jobs. And there are a number of people who've been to work, who've not been to work before, or who've been without jobs for a while. And so we're going to talk to the Department of Labor, who's going to talk to us about the Labor on the Block movement, the latest one coming up, and the kind of yields we're getting from people who are looking for work. Youth Ambassador is here to talk about some upcoming events. And then, of course, I've been telling you all it's my favorite segment, our highlight and feature today. So got a bit to get to today. I have your question and answers to take care of as well. And so I'm feeling good. Hope you are all to come and talk about what's happening in labor on the blocks and labor. She is the Assistant Director of Labor, Public Employment Services Unit, Simone Thurston, to come and address us on that this morning.
Good morning, Bahamas. Labor on the Blocks 2.0, Fox Hill Community, Nassau, Bahamas. In keeping with the government's commitment to develop partnership with community organizations and reduce the levels of unemployment in our country, the Ministry of Labor and Immigration, in conjunction with the Department of Labor and the Fox Hill Festival Committee, will hold a job fair on Saturday, June 17th, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the job fair and are seeking to employ persons. These companies include Norwegian Cruise Line, Four Seasons Resort, MSC Cruise Line, John Bow, Warwick Hotel Sandals Resort, the Norman Ski Resort, Osprey Construction Company, Belamonte Spa, Doctors Hospital, FML Group of Companies, and many more. All job seekers attending the job fair are reminded to come dressed for success and bring their resumes, NIB cards, police certificates, resumes, and any other supporting documents. Job seekers are also reminded that they can pre-register for the job fair by scanning the QR code found on both the Department of Labor's Facebook page and the Department of Labor's portal, which can be accessed via URL jobseekers.bahamas.gov.bs. The Department of Labor strongly encourages all job seekers in the Eastern District of New Providence to attend the job fair. In addition, a special invitation is extended to all seeking employment opportunities throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Job seekers that may require assistance in dressing for success are asked to contact any of the Department of Labor sub-officers, and that's Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, and Rosetta Street. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? Y'all as comfortable with labor on the block? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so there you have it. Those who are looking for employment, you have another avenue that you can go to actually address that and to hopefully find the job or a job that you're looking for, or something that can get you started in that field. We're going to now talk about I'm going to move on to Aaron Brown, because we're waiting on the good minister to come to talk about the environmental cleanup campaign. And so I want Aaron Brown to come and talk about the SDG Social Inclusion Tech Committee on Sustainable Development Goals conference that's coming up. We want you to be aware of it, be a part of it. She's going to come and talk about that. And then our Climate Change Youth Ambassador, Stephen Hunter II, will follow to talk about something that's happening on the air of climate change as well that you want to be aware of. Aaron, hi.
Good morning. On the 12th of July, 2023, the Bahamas will host its first Sustainable Development Goal Conference under the theme, Transforming Our Bahamas Through Economic Prosperity, Social Inclusion, and Partnership for Sustainable Development. There will be 4 panels. The first panel focused on SDGs and how they intersect with the Prime Minister's areas of focus, education, crime, and the economy. The second on economic prosperity, and third on social inclusion for sustainable development. The fourth panel will focus on Sustainable Development Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goal. The Prime Minister and other relevant ministers will sit on the first panel. The second and third panels will consist of the SDG, Economic Prosperity, and the Social Inclusion Technical Committees, along with other relevant guest panelists. The fourth panel will feature members who are active in the international organization community and are currently working towards transforming the Bahamas through partnerships at different levels. After each panel, there will be an active segment where attendees will have an opportunity to ask questions, win prizes, and share their own opinions about sustainable development goals and development in the Bahamas. The event will be held at the University of the Bahamas in the Performing Arts Center, and lunch will be served for in-person participants. The event will also be streamed on the Facebook platform for online participation and Family Island viewers. A registration link will be made available to the public in the coming weeks, and information can be found at SDG Unit 242 on Facebook or requested via email at sdgu@bahamasgov.bs. Thank you.
Stephen Hunter?
Good morning, Bahamas. It is clear that we in this generation are living in a global environment. Gone are the days our parents and grandparents referred to as the good old days. Dorian and then COVID-19 were two forerunners of a shift which my generation can verily say no generation before us could have imagined or experienced. And as you know, they say things come in threes and true to form. Now we are faced with the issue of global climate change. The recent IPCC report clearly indicates that we are far from keeping the 1.5-degree goal alive. And what does that mean? It means that there are slow onsets and sudden dramatic impacts, which we will face in our lifetime and will continue with those in the generations to come after us. I am Stephen Hunter, and I'm the Climate Youth Ambassador for the Bahamas, along with my co-ambassador, Ashante Russell. Together, we, with the support of a committee of youth from 6 family of islands, wishes to inform everyone that climate change is not just a Nassau issue, but a Bahamas issue. So with inputs from our colleagues from Andros, Mayaguana, Grand Bahama, Long Island, Exuma, and Inagua, we extend an invitation to the nation's youth to join us at our country's first National Climate Youth Conference, which is to be held July 13 through 14, 2023 at the University of the Bahamas campus. Young persons ages 15 through 25 throughout the country are free to register to participate physically or virtually at the event. Just log on to the website useclimateleadybahamas.gov.bs to gain access to all of the information and an opportunity to compete for a spot on the government's delegation to COP28 in the city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Registration deadline for the National Climate Conference is June 30th, and the deadline for applications for the COP28 competition is July 28, 2023. As a small island nation, the Bahamas experiences a unique set of challenges that are only compounded by the devastating effects of climate change. Therefore, it is important that we, as the youth of the nation, arm ourselves with the requisite tools to actively participate in the global climate discussion. A seat has been made ready, and we must become actively involved in the fight against climate change and continue raising awareness on the issue. Your participation in this 2-day conference will provide an opportunity for you to partake in national policy drafting sessions to ensure that our collective voices are heard at home and on the world stage. As we celebrate our 50th independence, the country and its people will continue our march forward, upward, onward, and now we can truly say together, as the youth of the nation takes our rightful place with the present leadership and prepare ourselves to take the reins in the years to come. If you aspire to greatness, if you want to give direction to a future you will inevitably inherit, I encourage you to go on the website, register for the conference, and work with us in person or in a virtual capacity to help build the Bahamas we all want to live in. Again, my name is Stephen Hunter, and I'm ready to serve my fellow youth and my country. Thank you. Any questions?
So the minister says he's en route. So until he gets there, we'll go to the question and answer segment. until he comes, and then we can have he and the commissioner from the Department of Corrections talk about the Kingdom campaign is going on. So if you have any other questions of the administration, we'll take those now until he comes, and then we'll move on to the next segment. Our news, Marlena Leonard, anything for us today?
So, you mentioned today is your last day. What are your plans for the Broadcasting Corporation? How do you think you're going to turn things around?
Okay, that's why. Is that why I owe you here? I'm just kidding. Well, the idea is not just turning it around, because that would give the impression that it's in the wrong direction. I don't think it's in the wrong direction. I think it's in the right direction. And so what I want to do is accelerate where it's trying to get to its goal. We want to do a lot more as far as news programming, a lot more as far as television programming, entertainment, a lot more with radio entertainment. And so there are a number of things together with the team that we want to do to ensure that ZNS and the Broadcasting Corporation is the choice for entertainment and news and information, and not just an option, but it is people's first choice. I believe that the talented staff there are capable of us being able to accelerate the path and accelerate the pace. I believe that there is the will to do it. And so I think with the leadership that I hope to provide, we'll get there quickly, and Bahamians will have something that they're even more proud of. People talk about the glory days. Glory days are good, but glory days kind of refer to going back. We don't want to go back. We want to go forward, and that is creating a new kind of broadcasting corporation that's relevant to today's days and times and ages, and that young people and millennials, as well as our elderly, all can tune in and feel comfortable about what it is that they're watching and or listening to. And so it's that kind of thing, really being able to pull out, I think, the talent. One of the things I always tell people is the staff at ZNS, I think, are some of the best kept secrets. And they have a lot of skill, a lot of talent. And so what we want to do is create avenues for people to see just the kind of level of skill and talent that the employees there have. And I'm looking forward to be able to work with them and create a team effort to be able to give that kind of new improved service to the Bahamian people.
Is there anything else you would have done differently during your time as press secretary?
Yeah, I think I would have had more than one food vendor every Thursday. Sometimes we actually had two. I don't think so. I came here with a set time frame. I came here with goals that we wanted to do. We wanted to implement a standard press conference on a regular basis so people had access to what was going on in government. This is a living testimony that was able to happen. On Tuesdays, we have cabinet briefing, which stopped reporters from having to be outside and hustle for an interview. They can be comfortable and make their requests, have ministers come. That's worked successfully. We wanted to make sure that interviews at events, we were able to have access to the Prime Minister. Reporters can say that they've been able to get access to ministers and prime ministers. So I think what I set out to achieve, we were able to achieve. The biggest thing was establishing a press office in the office of the Prime Minister, because none ever existed. We've done that. It's staffed with some of the most talented professionals I know in the sector and industry, and so I know I'm leaving it in good hands because they can carry it on. We have an established office that's there to cater to media needs, take their phone calls throughout the week, throughout the day, get interviews for them, get responses for them, organize events for them. I think we did it. What I set out to achieve, we were able to achieve. And I believe that once we're able to do something, achieve it, and see it run well, then for me is always what is next for me, where I can assist and help in any form or fashion with my gift and abilities to be able to build our country. And that's why I'm looking forward to the next, because we were able to do what we need to do here. I think it's working well. What else can we do? And that's how I feel about the press office and what I've done so far. I'm grateful. There's always more you can do. We wanted to be able to do a conference for media personalities and for press secretaries around the region. I wasn't able to do that. Perhaps my successor will take it on. I don't know. But I'm comfortable that we were able to achieve what we wanted to set out to achieve. It's in the time frame that I wanted to do. People didn't know. I gave myself about 2 years to do this job. It's a little right before 2 years, but it's around the same time. That's why I always smile at people who said, yeah, don't worry, we're coming for you. We leave the car, leave everything. Like I wanted to be here forever. I didn't. I wanted to make a meaningful impact, do what it is I need to do, help people that I can help, even outside of being press secretary, just help people get access to government services. I did that, and so it's on to the next. Thank you, Marlena. Nassau Guardian, anybody from the Guardian? Oh, yes, Jared. Hi, Jared.
Thank you. Can you confirm who the next press secretary is, please?
I can, I won't. They're going to make an announcement on that. I won't get in on that business of it, but I'm sure between now and when the person takes office, they'll make an announcement on that. Quite capable. I'll say this much. I believe I like to class it as the opposite of my personality. I'm a little more aggressive, outgoing, talkative. They're not. So I think you'll get a great contrast from what you have.
What's your vision for ZNS? Do you think ZNS needs to be more impartial, or is it going to continue sort of along the lines of state media following whatever the government of the day is?
I think classing the two is an injustice at Broadcasting Corporation. People say impartial, but I believe ZNS does its job. I mean, if you look at its competitors, many people can say they're impartial. They focus on maybe their area of expertise, or their focus is on whoever pays their bills. You know, so I think it's unfair to classify ZNS as being impartial, because it's operated and run by the government. Any government entity around the world in media, their focus and attention is on what government is doing. That's not partiality, that's the mandate of a state-run enterprise anywhere. BBC, CBC in Canada, state-run enterprises, their intention and their purpose is to make sure that its citizen is aware of what government is doing, what government programs are, how they can access them. That's their focus. I believe the Broadcasting Corporation hasn't done enough of that. There are still too many people throughout our Commonwealth, and we have a strategic role because we're an archipelago of islands, which means the way islands feel connected as a part of the Bahamas is pretty much through ZNS, through radio and television. That's how they know what's happening in the capital, because the capital, of course, is on an island separate from where they are. So I believe the Broadcasting Corporation has an even greater role to play in ensuring that Bahamians throughout the length and breadth of this country know what government is doing, know how government is working for them, know what the issues are that we're facing as a country. So there's more that needs to happen. ZNS can do an even better job of covering more of news and information. I think all media houses can do a better job of that. I think there's still too much focus on just press conferences and events rather than the stories that impact people. You're going to see more of that, stories that impact the everyday person, stories that are happening in our country, success stories, rather than just highlighting the negative, what's working in this country, what are people doing in this country. So it'll be a little more of that. And I think people will appreciate the Broadcasting Corporation fulfilling that role, and that's what we hope to do. Good?
Why are you leaving the role of press secretary?
To do just what I said. That's crucial for national development. Anybody who knows me, even from when I was in another place as a journalist, I'm very passionate about national development, very passionate about people, about seeing what works for our country. When I came to this job, it was pretty much to serve my country, all right? I've told this story over repeatedly. As a journalist and one who did a nightly news analysis show, I was on the air every night, and I was very passionate about what was working, what was not working. How our people were being served or how they weren't being served. That's what my show was known for. And I got up one morning and I said, you know what? I'm tired of just talking about it. Why not be a part of the change? And so when the opportunity came and I was asked, I said, well, this is a good opportunity to be a part of the change. I came here. I believe I made an impact here. That passion still lies within me to ensure that media is serving our people the way it could fully serve our people. and provide coverage to our people. And so when the opportunity presented itself, and it was presented to me as to whether I would be willing to go over and help in a greater capacity, as you know, I was consulting for a few months, and then the opportunity came, well, can you do this on a regular basis? Can you do this? We believe this is critical to the development of our country. We believe that you have some creative ideas that can help the Broadcasting Corporation accelerate what it's doing. And so the opportunity came. I thought about it long and hard. I thought about this wonderful job as press secretary, and then I recognized that the next job isn't as glamorous. It requires a lot of work, and whether I was up for that. And the answer was yes. I believe I could contribute to it. I believe I can help take people to the next level. And so that's why I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So that's why I'm leaving. You're welcome to come along if you'd like to as well.
Were you forced out of OPM?
Oh, no, not at all. Matter of fact, they're holding on to my hand, saying, no. But no, the colleagues here, this was not an easy decision. My colleagues have been amazing. I work with a team who surrounds the Prime Minister, who are simply amazing. Our Chief Operating Officer and Chief of Staff, Alison Colley, head of our Orange Economy, I can't say senior speechwriter anymore because he's between roles, Ian Poitier, and Latre Ramming. The four of us worked extremely close over the last 2 years with Prime Minister. I call us the awesome foursome. This is not easy. They are amazing people to work with. Even in arguing times, they're amazing. And so much more who work in our teams. This is not easy for me because we enjoy such a great relationship and we can do so much more together, but this is something that has to be about country first for me. And so I'm not being forced out. They're telling me every minute of the day, you don't have to go, you can stay, you can stay. And so same thing with the Prime Minister. This was not easy for him because we work very well together, extremely well. And I am pleased and honored that he is pleased with my work. And I support him 100% in what he does. And so for everybody involved, it was not easy, but I believe that it's necessary and it's going to benefit at the end of the day. And so it's not the easiest decision to make. All right, thank you, Jared. Ariel Bole, Tribune. Hi, Ariel.
Hi. I wanted to know how is it back to be at ZNS, because I know the last time you had parted ways and went to party meeting, you made your issues and tensions about ZNS very clear.
What were those?
I mean, I know you made a couple comments, but
Tell me what they were, I don't remember those.
Comments about people being sidelined, but we don't want to go into that deeply.
No, we can go into that. I can stand and address any comment you want me to. Go ahead.
But now you're going back, there's no hard feelings, bygones, you feel, there's no hard feelings going back to dealing with going back into ZNS.
I'm glad you asked that, because I think that's important to say. Even when I was in the other place, I talked about being sidelined. I talked about a lot of people who at the time were being treated, in my view, unfairly by the management there. Two things: the management, the people who led the institution there, they're not there anymore. They've been gone for a while now. I stand behind my comments about being sidelined, and I think for me, this is why I'm so passionate about doing this job. You know why? I've been there. And my desire is to ensure that under my leadership, nobody ever encounters what I encounter. And to make sure that people who feel disenfranchised in a matter of weeks will no longer feel that way. One of the things that I've done when I started consulting earlier this year is to make sure that I sorted out who had little matters that needed to be addressed or weren't being addressed. That was able to happen. So the last thing on my mind is a vendetta. I don't have a vendetta at all. What I want to do is make sure that people have opportunities, that people are happy. If I believe that as leaders, we have to be able to uplift, motivate, encourage, and not attack or pull down or get back at somebody. It doesn't work. My life and my career is a testimony that even when people do things to you that are unfair and wrong, if you stay focused on what it is that God has called you to do, He will always make a way. My return to ZNS was never in my plans. Talk to anybody And they'll tell you, oh no, I was done. I was fine. I was good. I left. I always respected the Broadcasting Corporation for what it's done in my life. I was fine. When this opportunity came up, which was not on my pathway, it took a while before I accepted it. And what helped me to accept it was after I went back to consult and recognize that my heart wasn't where I thought it would have been. It was full of wanting to help. It was full of energy and excitement to wanting to see an improvement and upgrades. And there was not that malice or that hate. And that's how I knew that I was in a different place, because I allowed my experiences and the path that I took leading to this point to heal me and make me whole, not to hurt me. And it's a story that I will always talk to people who feel as if they've been sidelined or they've been overlooked or they've gone through difficult paths, that if you stay true to what it is that you are gifted with, that you are talented with, and you stay true to the good Lord himself, he will always open up a door and always have the next in place for your life. And that's why I'm confident that I can do this job, because I understand my life. I understand the path I took to get here, and I understand that this is not even the end. This is just the next level for me. But there's more even beyond the Broadcasting Corporation.
And just to clarify, how long were you consulting with ZNS, and it wasn't a paid position? I know that's what you
No, not at all. No. From, I think, February to about April, we were doing consultations, getting ready for a relaunch, which will happen pretty soon. All right. Anybody? I see. Eyewitness News. Eyewitness News. Hi, Tyler.
In regards to the rape allegations against the sitting MP, we spoke to Commissioner Fernando yesterday. He said that they're still in the Royal Bahamas Police Force is still in discussions with the DPP's office. They haven't made a decision yet. What would you say to naysayers who say that, you're really like dragging their feet in regards to these serious allegations against a sitting MP?
Right. I wouldn't say. It's not for us to comment on how the police handles those investigation. We separate police and government. It's their investigation. It'll be inappropriate for me in government to comment on how they're handling their investigation. I will repeat what Prime Minister said. We trust the police force to conduct their investigations, to make whatever determinations, and he will be guided by whatever the outcome is, and he maintains that position.
Will there be, any repercussions after the police make their decisions for that MP?
We'll have to wait on the police decisions.
And also, the Ministry of Health also just revealed that there was a case of monkeypox. I think the second case here in a year or so, but the guy didn't have any significant travel. Is the government concerned at all about, where he got it from? If he's not traveling, will there be an outbreak? What's going on with the vaccines, stuff like that?
Right. We take our lead from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. They're very good. As you can see, they guided the country through a pandemic. And so we trust that they are able to make the necessary actions and leadings when it comes to anything like this. We take our lead from them. If there was a need for greater concern, you would see them responding in that. They take the lead on these kinds of matters, and so we trust them on it. And if they have not raised the alarm any further than notification of it, then I think we can feel comfortable that they know exactly what's happening in our country, and that we can feel relatively safe about their course of action. All right. JCN. Hi, Destiny. No questions. Thank you. And Carla from ZNS. She left the room. Okay. All right. So I think that covers all of our questions. Is the minister here yet? He is. Okay. So we're going to invite the Minister of the Environment, the Honorable Vaughn Miller. He's not in the room yet. Okay. He's going to come and talk to us. Let me give you some background information on that. And that simply is, there's a national cleanup campaign going on. People have been asking for it for a while. It's begun. The first leg of it is in partnership with the Bahamas Department of Corrections, which is why the commissioner is here, and once the minister come on, we'll talk about how they're assisting in that regard. But it is to help beautify, particularly as the country is celebrating 50 years, and celebrations are going to be ongoing. And so we're waiting on him to come and address you, to talk to you about how this cleanup effort will take place, what it includes. And as soon as he comes, we'll allow him to do that. And Mr. Clare, unless you want to start, Mr. Clare? you'll wait for Minister to come. All right, so instead of holding you up, let me just, since we already started talking about ZNS, let's just do that right now. And to just simply say, I think it's important for me to say thank you to the Office of the Prime Minister, who's been very accommodating with my grandiose plans on what a press office should do or what a press office should be. And making it really effective in that role. I'll pause right there because I see the minister. Come on, Minister, we've been waiting on you since yesterday. So come on up and talk about this National Cleanup Campaign, and then you can introduce the commissioner from the Bahamas Department of Corrections to talk about how they're participating in that aspect of it. So Minister Vaughn Miller will talk to you about that cleanup effort.
Good morning, thank you. The Ministry of the Environment and Natural Resources, we wish to announce that Phase 1 of the Road to 50 National Beautification Campaign commenced this past Monday at the intersection of Bay Street and the Navy Line Road, continuing along Bay Street east all the way to the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge with the assistance of the Department of Correction, Inmates, Labor. Yesterday, Wednesday the 14th, the cleanup campaign, which begins at 6 every morning, moved from West Bay onto Nassau Street, and they'll be continuing all the way up to the intersection of Ponciano Drive and University Boulevard. This project, in the first instance, it will address the removal of garbage along all of the north-south thoroughfares between Nassau Street and Village Road, and going as far as Wolf Road. And it's noted that the team will place emphasis on overgrown open spaces and lots, as well as additional environmental remedial works, including the removal of accumulated bulk waste, derelict vehicles, and the whitewashing of abandoned buildings. Following the whitewashing of these structures, young artisans in the various communities will be encouraged to apply murals of community leaders and other national symbols like the flag, also our coat of arms and logo, a national logo, and a motto, pardon me. And officers of the Department of Environmental Health Services, DEHS, will also take action to prosecute property owners who are in breach of our environmental legislation. I wish to repeat that. The officers of the Department of Environmental Health Services, they are really overseeing this along with senior persons from the Department of Corrections, and with the police. They will be prosecuting property owners who are in breach of our environmental legislations. We encourage, or we have met with the Bahamas Christian Council, and they've agreed. They're very supportive of this initiative. We met with some other organizations, very supportive of this initiative, and we're encouraging them to encourage the church community, encourage the communities they are part of, to take part in this national initiative as we approach our 50th, our Golden Jubilee celebrations, to be a part of it. Also, the Ministry of Public Works has come on board to coordinate the demolition of several abandoned buildings in the targeted areas, particularly the eyesore that's at the junction of Blue Hill Road and Dillard Street. I always thought it was Blue Hill Road and Meeting Street, but they told me that's Dillard Street. And when I drove by several mornings ago, the sign does say Dillard Street. All of my life, I thought it was Nassau Street. So, but that building, right by the red light, I think it's in the northwestern quadrant. We're targeting that building. Also on Market Street, just south of VZ Street, there's a yellow building. It's almost in the road that they're using to place their waste. That's targeted. And the first one that's almost down is located on East and Anderson Streets. It's opposite, it used to be Mason Street, that's now, I think, Saxon Way. It's a burgundy building. It's been an eyesore for a long time. By the weekend, by God's grace, we hope that will be down. And then phase 2 of the project, we going east-west on Wolf Road, from Wolf Road, from the roundabout at University of Bahamas, all the way to Village Road, and Robinson Road from the roundabout at Blue Hill Road, all the way east to Soldier Road. And I'd like to introduce the Acting Commissioner of the Department of Corrections, and want to thank him, his team, for their support, and they really doing a tremendous work in assisting us with this project. I'm sure, as you are, and many persons are, as you traverse throughout New Providence, and we've been getting complaints, but didn't have to get the complaints, we saw it for ourselves. And the Bahamas I grew up in, the island of New Providence, I was accustomed to being very clean as a youngster. It's changed rather quickly. And so this is what we are doing about it. And he will come and share further. The Acting Commissioner, Mr. Don Clare. I welcome him at this time.
Good afternoon, Minister. Thank you, Minister. The Bahamas Department of Corrections, as you all are now aware, is now implementing a new correctional model. It's a aspect in that rehabilitation process is called inmate industries. Now, what we are doing now is that we have close to 210 inmates who are about to be released because of their time is about to expire. Some will be going home next week, next month, sometimes some will be going home next year. So what we are doing now, we are now putting them into a program called the Inmate Industries Program. And a part of that program, we are partnering with private industries. And we consider, although it's the government, we consider them to be a private industry. So what we decided to do is we have now about to allocate to environmental health some 50 residents that they can use at their disposal. It's not free. They will give the inmate a small stipend. So upon their release, they will have something to take home. But during this process, inmates will be responsible for initial cleanup, sustained cleanup, and also a part of that process, we have carpenters, mason, plumbers, who will be doing repairs as they go along. Now, I live in the West, and every time I drive to work in the morning, at 6:45 in the morning, I travel from, the minute I hit San Juan, coming down, and I hit Bahama, and then I hit, let's say I'm the road where Premier and Porter's is, then you begin to see the garbage on both sides of the streets. I'm talking about tons of garbage. And an hour later, you have thousands of tourists walking those same streets. To me, it became a major issue. A major issue. And that's why I was so happy when I was approached by the minister. Said, listen, man, we need help. And I said, Minister, based on our no idleness policy, I can give you as much money as you want. But initially, we start with 50. And on Monday passed, at 6 o'clock in the morning, we started from the Sheraton British Colonial Hilton Hotel. And as time as we get to Rawson Square, believe it or not, we had 45 bags, massive bags of garbage, can, bottle, Kentucky boxes. Before we get to Rawson Square. And I want to talk about after we passed Rawson Square to get to the bridge, we ended up with 87 bags of garbage. And I don't know I'm not here to criticize the people who has the contracts for those areas, but we are here to augment what they do. In fact, we saw one this morning. Yes. Yeah, man, I can sweep up with the sand. the sand. I said, well, that's good. Sweep the sand up. But you're going to see the amount of garbage on Bay Street. My team is committed. My team is committed on a sustainable basis at 7 in the morning. And they are clean. Right now, that crew is now, we left them at the Fish Fry. And so far, they have gotten about 27 bags of garbage from the Fish Fry. And they are still there. So, one good thing about the Bahamas, that's a good thing about it. So I can take an inmate anywhere in the province and have them clean. In fact, I was so pleased with what they did this morning. I told one, I said, man, go dip your foot in the water. Please, next week. I said, put your foot in the water. Now, I said, after you don't clean your foot in the water, I'll tell you. Anyone can tell you that Bay Street is extremely clean. It's very, very clean on Bay Street. And Minister said this morning he didn't even know the dog was under his portfolio. So we got some stray dogs on Bay Street. We have to get them under control. Because at nights, they do some things out there. So once we get our stray dogs under control, Bay Street would be a clean place. And even, I'll tell a joke, even one of the, I saw, I suspect he's homeless. He was laying down. And as he saw us approaching him, he started putting the stuff in the bag. I said, here, man, you all take this. No, I said, no. I said, you going to be a part of this program too, right? He said, yes, sir. So I said, well, keep your area clean. I checked it this morning, clean. I see one bottle of water he had in his hand this morning. That impressed me. So, folks, we're going to keep this thing going. And it is our job that anywhere we see a Nassau that is filthy, we will clean it and move forward. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
I have a question. It's not directly related to this, but I was just wondering if our public transport emissions are tracked, and if not, are there any plans to work with the Ministry of Transport to try to work on getting our bus systems more environmentally friendly?
In conversations with regards to that, in terms of further developing and monitoring, and it's something we've been in conversation with for a while, but that's as much as I'm prepared to say about it.
Is there any existing data at the moment?
Yes. I'd rather not say anything further.
I have a question for Mr. Clare. I know the prison is seeking accreditation from the American Correctional Association. I'm wondering how is the process for accreditation, where we are with that now, and what needs to be done to be accredited?
Okay, excellent question. We are seeking accreditation. There's some things that we need to do to be accredited. So we are doing it in phases because it's going to be a very, very expensive exercise. So, for example, we just opened up a new juvenile facility that they said to us can be accredited. The female correctional facility, we have to do some minor works to it, and they said that can be accredited. Now, our biggest challenge now, well, we know maximum security prison cannot be accredited. So our challenge now is the remand center. We have just remodeled the entire top floor at almost $300,000. We are now approaching the bottom floor now. But our biggest challenge now is this, is that we now have to replace all of the toilets in the remand center, which requires us digging up the floors and cutting the walls. This will cost us, according to our best estimation, because we had three master plumbers because of there already, and they say it's $1.8 million. That, I understand, will be taken care of in this budget here. They have asked us to not allow inmates to eat in the cells anymore with their slab buckets. We have done that. We have built a brand new dining hall. So inmates don't eat in the cells anymore. They come out of the cells 3 times a day. They go in the dining hall and they eat their food. They have asked us put in surveillance systems, proper lighting. They have asked us to implement the non-smoking policy, which we are about to do now. They have asked us to put in quite a number of policies and procedures, which we have done already. So it's a long process. And this morning, right in my conference room, we have 44 officers right now who is now doing the mandatory mental health training. So even that is a part of the process. They are now because they are about to be certified next week after they take the examination. So it's a whole range of things that we have to do to be accredited, and we're hoping to call them back to the department sometime in December for them to do an assessment of us, and then we will determine what else needs to be done. But like I say again, it is an expensive exercise. It also requires us sending 30 officers to Canada for further correctional management training.
Okay, any other questions on the cleanup campaign? Mr. Clare will be around and taking any questions you want in prison. That's not our focus today, so we don't want to continue with that. He'll be around so you can talk to him afterwards. But anything else on the cleanup campaign?
Minister, you spoke about the breach of the environmental legislation. What exactly will happen to property owners?
We have an attorney on staff. We have senior health officers, and they've advised me that they have not been as active as they've been in the past, but they've assured me that with the inception of this program, in many instances, they will need police officers to go with them to be able to serve whatever it is to whoever is in violation, and we'll be doing that aggressively as we move along with this campaign in those areas and other areas.
So when you talk about in violation, exactly what you talk about? You talk about property owners.
For example, we have a lot of what we call them, street side, roadside mechanics, garages. And actually, in partnership with the Ministry of Works, we've been in discussion with them, with our attorney and their attorney, and how we'll approach that. But that's an example, because we've been getting a lot of complaints about them, and so we definitely intend not to target, but as we get the complaints, definitely to act on them.
So then you'll be working then with the Ministry of Works for proper zoning then?
Well, in as much as we can, in as much as we can. But certainly our effort is on the road to 50 with the national beautification of this project. We want to make our island clean again, the way it used to be. I grew up and I was looking over, and a lot of you may be too young to remember this, but there was an adage that was simple: cleanliness is next to godliness. And we believed it, and we did it. Don't know where it happened, where we fell off, who's responsible, not even trying to find out. Our goal is to rectify it. We want to revive that spirit of cleanliness that's in us. We want to revive it and activate it, and as we clean, we intend to maintain this.
I know it's the country's 50th anniversary, but this initiative, while we acknowledge the initiative and the 50th anniversary, but this should be beyond that, should it not be?
Absolutely. This is but the beginning. Shouldn't we keep our country, shouldn't we keep our properties clean at all times? And so this is ongoing. This is but, like I said, the beginning. And again, we're encouraging churches, we're encouraging businesses and business owners to get involved. And as a matter of fact, every street that we're on, all of the businesses, where the churches, will engage them and, of course, get them involved with it, particularly in kind, to help us to maintain and sustain this.
So we can see enforcement?
Absolutely.
When do you think that would begin?
Immediately.
Irrespective?
As far as I'm concerned, absolutely yes, irrespective.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Commissioner, for your remarks and your comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're going to invite our feature, and then I think we have another, someone else with comments. I'm going to invite from the Art District Lounge, that's who we're featuring today, our food business. We're going to invite Mackinson Alidor, who's the proprietor, to come and talk about the Art District Lounge. Y'all heard about that before? I'm sure you did.
Come on, guys. Thank you guys for having us, Bahamas. My name is Mac Altador. I'm the owner of the Art District Lounge. It's an upscale cigar bar, restaurant, and sports bar on Delancey Street. I have my whole management team with me, and I have my Director of Operations, Ms. Desmond Williams, who will tell you guys more about what we're doing at the Art District Lounge.
A pleasant good afternoon to all. We are proud, the Art District Restaurant and Lounge. As you can see, we have beautifully displayed what we are about. We have the art to the right. We have our wonderful cigars that you can't find anywhere but there. And of course, we have our cognacs, whiskeys, and we have our wonderful chefs. We are an entity, a restaurant that we are known in the Bahamas for sun, sand, and of course sea. But we are about people, teamwork. We are about making a difference. You can come there. We have 4 different areas that you can dine at. And we have a good time there. So please come and join us at our district. We have a wonderful marketing manager, Rashay Gibson. We have a wonderful restaurant manager, Mr. Kenwood Munnings. And of course, we have our wonderful admin, my left and my right. And we want you to come, we want you to enjoy. And we will be offering and are offering what you can't find anywhere in the Bahamas. But of course, we're gonna spread that. But that's all I can say about the art until you come and join us.
Any questions?
Tell us what you have today.
Well, we have beef and chicken skewers. We have chicken empanadas, and we do have shrimp, gyoza, and pork gyoza. And we have some surprises when it comes to the beverages. Non-alcoholic beverage, and of course a little spice. Today is Clint's last day, so yes. So if he wants to enjoy a little, we have that also.
And finally, all we wanted to say is the Art District is in a very historical area. You have the National Arts Gallery, you have John Watlin's. Our bars and restaurant are named after specific events Delancey Street was and how we came about. And this Father's Day, we're looking to see the Father's Day. Hopefully Clint can join us as well. All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's it. I'm going to call my colleague, and then I think I should, am I talking behind you or in front of you? Which you prefer? But he's coming, and I guess, well, let him talk, and then I'll close. Latrey Ramming, Director of Communications here at the Office of Prime Minister.
I promise I won't say anything crazy. I just thought it was fitting, knowing it was the last time Clint signs off as press secretary. I think I could begin by saying that journalism indeed is a passion, and I think it's a passion that he cannot fight against. He has made efforts to educate and inform the Bahamian people. He was invested in our commitment to transform the way the government communicates. He came to the office of the Prime Minister and then, as an example, used this as a platform to empower Bahamian businesses, particularly small businesses. These were businesses, in many instances during the pandemic, were starting off for their very first time, and many of them got the exposure through this avenue. On countless days, Clint has been more than a press secretary to the Bahamian people. He has helped them with their NIB concerns and getting a meeting with the PM or minister. But he has been an advocate, not only at beyond the headlines for Bahamians, but in this role as well. I know that I've been asked the question whether or not I'll miss him. Well, certainly, not only as a colleague, but as a friend. I believe that ZNS will be in a better place. Without a doubt, I think that he'll leave behind a very confident team. So, Clint, with that being said, we are being happy. Don't you do this? To have you at the OPM, and we wish you well.
So, come and change the whole thing, man. Change the whole mood. I think it's important to say thank you to the Bahamian people. If you work in government, you will understand that the Bahamian people not the easiest to please. You deal with a lot of, thank you, darling. Sorry. You deal with a lot of criticism, attacks, whether duly noted or not, whether expected or not, whether justified or not, you deal with it. And that's not been a problem for me. I have broad shoulders, literally broad shoulders. And so I understood what comes with the job. But I hope at the end of the day, the Bahamian people will understand that we all want a better country. Regardless of who's in power, regardless of who's in government, we want a better Bahamas. The one thing I want to say is that I hope people at some point will choose country above politics. There's still a lot, if you're in the WhatsApp groups, there's still a lot of politicking going on. There's still a lot of people who oppose just because it's not their party. And that can be sometimes discouraging because it does not go bode well for nation building. We are a country that is amazing worldwide. People love the Bahamas. We thrive in almost everything we do. We're at the top of our game and disciplines in almost every sector. This is a unique nation. The world is not destroying us. We're destroying us. The world is not stopping us. We're stopping us because Bahamians are their biggest critics. Bahamians are their biggest pull-downers, and this does not go against criticisms and analysis, and those are expected. But when we can't separate nation from politics, then we have a problem in our country because our children won't have a nation to build on and live on because there's so much anger and hatred. And we have to learn that after politics, we have to support our governments, whoever is in power, and look for a better Bahamas. And I hope that we continue to do that. I hope that we can begin doing that if we've not done it. This administration that I've had the privilege of working a part of is truly passionate about it. It's not perfect, it has its challenges, but we have a prime minister who's seriously passionate about making the Bahamas better. And I fully endorse what he's doing. I see where he wants to go, and hopefully we'll all be a part of us achieving it, because when he wins, we all win. When our government wins, when government gets better and government becomes more efficient, we all win and benefit as the Bahamian people. And we've got to know how to push towards a better country, and not just because I'm not benefiting personally from it. I love the media. Can't wait to get back fully into it. I love serving the media. I've done that for the past year and a half to 2 years, is serve. Even serving people who then leave and write a story against you or write a story that you didn't say, and they come back the next week and I still serve them. And I made that my mantra because it wasn't about what people did to me. It was about what principle do I stand on. And I stand on a very righteous principle that says even when people revile you and say all manner of evil against you falsely, you continue to stand, you continue to maintain your integrity, you continue to serve them. And so that's why I can say it's been a delight serving the media, because they have a job to do. They're doing their job, and my job is just to make sure that when they come here, that they feel as if we're serving them and not being a deterrent or an intrusionist. And truly, I hope I've served you well. I look forward to serving the people of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, not managing them. I want to serve them because I believe that's the greatest, those who serve. I look forward to that. I know there have been some radio stations who've encouraged criticism. I welcome that. I would not ever advance had the tidal wave not been pushing me. So I welcome criticisms. I welcome those that stand against an opposition. That's necessary for me to move forward. And people always say, well, what do you say to people who say all these things about you and about whether you can do the job or not? And I simply say, keep talking. At the end of the day, I'll prove you. And I'll prove you wrong. They talked when I came and talked about press conferences. They said it wasn't making sense. I talked about bringing structure to OPM. They said it was foolish. We proved them wrong. And so we'll continue to prove them wrong. We'll continue to stand, and we'll continue to make a better Bahamas. And I recognize making a better Bahamas won't come with everybody cheering in your corner. It will come from a lot of people who, for their own reasons, want to see progress stagnated. But we keep pressing, we keep pushing, we keep serving, and we keep loving. And at the end of the day, what's going to win in this country is people who serve and who love more than people who hate or try to stop. And we continue to make that the hallmark. I say to ZNS, let's get ready to make greatness a thing of the past and make newness a thing of the future. We are going to do it together. We're going to have fun doing it. You know my personality, so it's going to get good. It's going to get good. And we're going to make the Bahamian people very proud of what it is that we do. And finally, to my colleagues, Allison. Come here, Allison. You come here, Latre. Come here, Ian. These team, we are the four that are around Prime Minister, whether it's day, night, wherever it is, apart around the world. They've been amazing. Many days I said, I quit. I ain't doing this no more. And they've been the ones to keep me. Y'all are amazing. Yeah, he's probably trying to move into my office. But no, but y'all are simply amazing. And it makes working in this job so worthwhile when you have people like that. They're amazing. So where's my staff? Come on. Keisha, Jillian, Tally, Kenton, and Chevy. The controls will run itself. Just give it a wide shot and come on here. The press department. You've been the first press department. You've been good. Whether people want to agree on it or not, y'all have been absolutely amazing. Not just amazing, but you're beautiful. It's Charlie's Angels, you know. Clint's Angels. And Chevy, our technical team, Kenton, who always is there. No one could wear a tighter shirt than Kenton, but nonetheless, Kenton. This team has really realized my dream of what a press office should be. They've been excellent from day one. And when you got good people, it's hard to say goodbye. But there's some greater people waiting on me. So I don't say greater, no. There's some other people waiting on me. There's some other people waiting on me to be great. And so thank you all for your support. I know without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to take it to next levels, new levels. And I appreciate you. You know, when I'm calling them after ZNS to say, we need this interview, I know you're going to give it to me because I gave you your job. So I want to say thank you to all of you. They sit in our neighborhood as well. Mr. Moss and Russell, who deal with protocol here at the Office of Prime Minister. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Moss always checked on me. Always make sure I was okay and good. And just so many people here in the Office of the Prime Minister, Communications Department, which is upstairs, all of comms, and everybody in the Office of the Prime Minister, and most importantly, to Prime Minister Davis for trusting me with this job. And when people even put me down, he kept encouraging me. And he kept just always having an encouragement. It's something when the most powerful man in this nation can take time out to always encourage and uplift. And that's who he's always been with me, an encourager and uplifter. And I hope I make him proud in this new assignment and we get it done for the Bahamian people. So For the last time, that's our press conference. If you need any information from the press department, the press office, you know how to find these people. And thank you so much, Bahamian people, for your support. And we look forward to the next and to greater. Thank you all. Have a good afternoon. Thank you. So enjoy your food.